Although sexual practices are often left out of discussions of history, the fact remains that homosexuality in ancient Rome did exist. Roman men were free to enjoy sex with other males without a perceived loss of masculinity or social status, as long as they took the dominant or penetrative role. Join us today as we look at the life of a male concubine in the Roman Empire. Homosexuality in ancient Rome differed greatly from that of the modern West. There are no words in Latin that accurately translate homosexual and heterosexual. The primary dichotomy of ancient Roman sexuality was active, dominant, masculine, and passive, submissive, feminine. In patriarchal Roman culture, the freeborn male citizen had political liberty and the power to rule both himself and his household. Virtue was viewed as an active trait that a man used to define himself. The cult of virility and the conquest mentality mold same-sex relationships. Acceptable male partners were slaves and former slaves, prostitutes, and entertainers, whose lifestyle placed them in the nebulous social realm of infamia, excluded from the normal protections accorded to a citizen even if they were technically free. The conquest mentality and cult of virility shaped same-sex relations. Roman men were free to enjoy sex with other males without a perceived loss of masculinity or social status, as long as they took the dominant or penetrative role. Although Roman men in general seem to have preferred youths between the ages of 12 and 20 as sexual partners, freeborn male minors were off-limits at certain periods in Rome, though professional prostitutes and entertainers might remain sexually available well into adulthood. One of the common and most accepted sexual relationships in ancient Rome was called pederasty, a sexual relationship between an adult man and a boy, which in most countries today is illegal, but in ancient Rome, it was actually socially normal for older men to prefer younger boys over young women. Romans who were socially marked as masculine did not confine their same-sex penetration of male prostitutes or slaves to those who were boys under the age of 20. Some older men may have at times preferred the passive role. An adult male's desire to be penetrated was considered a sickness, though the desire to penetrate a handsome youth was thought normal. Many Roman emperors are known to have had such relations, and one of them was Emperor Julius Caesar. Better known to history as the penetrated than the penetrator, sexually speaking, Caesar was both. Nicknamed the bald adulterer, Julius Caesar fit the Roman political stereotype perfectly by sleeping his way to power. As a young man, he spent a considerable amount of time at the court of King Nicomedes of Bithynia, fueling a series of rumors about an affair in which Caesar was the submissive party. Emperor Hadrian. Although common for the Roman emperors to have male lovers, Hadrian was unique in making it clear he was gay. Hadrian married Vibia Sabina for political reasons, and he never consummated the marriage, and the couple didn't have any children. Contemporaries claimed Hadrian treated his wife Sabina a little better than a slave. He married Sabina out of official duty and not because of romantic interests. Hadrian was much more interested in his male lovers. No wonder that poor Sabina looked for solace in the arms of other men. As already mentioned, Hadrian preferred sex with men. He even wrote erotic poetry about his young lovers. No evidence points towards Hadrian being attracted to women. A well-known love story between Hadrian and Antinous is a strong proof of Hadrian's love for young men. In 123 AD, during one of his tours across the empire, Hadrian arrived in Claudiopolis, Turkey. There he met a beautiful boy named Antinous. Hadrian sent Antinous to Italy to get a proper education. The 49-year-old emperor and the 14-year-old student became lovers. From then on, the couple was inseparable. Hadrian's gay lover Antinous became a god. Hadrian, Antinous, and their entourage sailed down the river Nile in Egypt. In mysterious circumstances, 18-year-old Antinous drowned. Antinous' death deeply saddened Hadrian. Near the place of Antinous' death, Hadrian founded the city of Antinopolis. He took Antinous' mummified body with him back to Italy. Antinous was deified and worshipped across the empire as a god. Hadrian commissioned many statues of his deceased lover to keep his memory alive. The cult of Antinous remained popular among the Romans long after Hadrian's death. Emperor Tiberius. Tiberius was one of the worst offenders for mistreatment of his concubines. He's a prime example of an older man who liked to sleep with younger boys. He acquired a reputation for still grosser depravities that one can hardly bear to tell or be told, let alone believe. For example, he trained little boys, whom he termed tiddlers, to crawl between his thighs when he went swimming and tease him with their licks and nibbles. And unweaned babies he would put to his organ and let the babies suck his organ as though they were sucking the breast, being by both nature and age rather fond of this form of satisfaction. In addition to those terrible things, Tiberius did not just demand that the young boy sleep with him, he would also force them to sleep with each other in a number of groupings, while he watched to get himself ready to perform the same. Emperor Nero. Nero had sex with his mother, kicked his pregnant wife to death, and married a castrated man. Nero looked for a woman who resembled his deceased wife Poppaea, which he had killed in a fit of rage. He didn't find any similar woman, but he met a male slave Sporus who looked just like Poppaea. Now, he did what any grieving husband would do, right? Well, not exactly. Nero had Sporus castrated, and during their marriage, Nero had Sporus appear in public as his wife wearing the regalia that was customary for Roman empresses. He then took Sporus to Greece and back to Rome, making Calvia Crispinilla serve as mistress of the wardrobe to Sporus. Nero had earlier married another freedman, Pythagoras, who had played the role of Nero's husband. Now Sporus played the role of Nero's wife.